Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to Star Citizen. I'm out here in a Vandal Scythe and I'm about to take it on a very short test flight. Now, I've been trying to get into Star Citizen for a very long time now, but been having many performance problems with the game, and fortunately now with the latest drivers from Nvidia, something seems to have clicked and it's all come together and working perfectly on my system. As you know, there's all manner of ships within Star Citizen and they all are handled very differently. They all have different functions, they all have different abilities. Some of them are very fast and some of them not so much. The Scythe is small and nimble, but one of my favourite ships has always been the Constellation, and that is right here. For me, the Constellation is almost an iconic ship for Star Citizen. I don't know about you, if you've got an iconic ship or a ship you feel is iconic for the game, do let me know in the comments section below. Perhaps the Hornet could fall into that category. It's not just the exterior that I like of the Constellation, but also the interior as well. It's got very much a sense of a living space to it, as well as a functional space, functional workspace. I guess you could say that about most of the ships within Star Citizen, but to be honest, I haven't had as much time in the other ships as I've had within the Constellation here. This area here, of course, is the cargo hold, and up the back you've got access to this ship's launched fighter, the Merlin. I'm curious to see just how well this little fighter can perform in combat. Never tried it yet, but well, it's got to be worth a go. Far from being the largest ship within the Star Citizen, the Constellation still nonetheless is much heavier and much slower to handle than the Vandal Scythe I was using at the beginning of the video. And you notice this the instant you take off. Back in the early days of the Star Citizen Alpha, I actually had personally a lot of problems with the way the flight model was implemented. Wasn't a big fan of it and really didn't like the way many of the ships did handle. But over the months this has really came together, and now these ships can indeed be a real pleasure to fly. Some might say that it's been a bit of a bumpy ride to get to this point, and it's almost certain that there's still a long way to go yet on all of this. But one thing's for sure, it's had huge improvements. It's come along in leaps and bounds. And if you haven't been into it for quite a long time, now would be a good time to step back in and have another look. Star Citizen has many selling points, many things it tries to sell itself on, and one of them is the ability to get up out your ship and walk around. And the fact you can do this while the ship is actually flying really continues to impress me. Here my Constellation is in flight, it's moving forward through this asteroid field and getting up out the ship, out of the seat rather, and having a look at the front of the deck. Out the windows here is a feeling unlike any other. I think it would only feel better if it was done in VR. There's many other places to walk around, of course. Here is our Corpus City area, and I haven't actually visited here since the last few updates. There's still not a tremendous amount that you can actually do down here yet, but you can always visit the bar, have a look around and meet up with other people while roaming around. And of course there is now a chat function, meaning you can talk with everyone in the local vicinity. If any of you have ever played Freelancer, you'll recognise much of the stylings of these bars. Not too dissimilar to the bars that were back in that game all those years ago, and indeed I guess the cities are perhaps inspired by that as well. So in one of the recent updates, CIG added the ability to make purchases within the game. You can purchase guns and you can purchase outfits or armour, and all these purchases are made using the in-game currency. Here we can have a look at a few of the weapons. You can see there's quite a few different stylings of weapons here, and when I put this weapon down and look off to the left, you'll see some old bloke standing here in a rather fancy get-up. In the room over the back there you can see a whole bunch of different suits, and you can try all of these on and indeed purchase one if you actually want them. And when you've made such a purchase, you can then access it through the locker in your spawn room. So all of this was part of the 2.4 update, I believe, that was rolled out a little while ago now. What I've really enjoyed though is the missions out from Port Olisar in the Crusader system. And I'm going to give one of those a go now in the video, but first I needed to pick a ship. Now I'm actually a huge fan of the Gladius, and that's largely due to its speed, but I've got to admit I really do like its style as well. The Avenger is pretty nice as well, but to be honest I much prefer the Gladius. So the whole region from here out of Port Olisar has what essentially CIG are calling the mini PU, or the mini persistent universe. It's quite a large area of space actually, with a fairly limited number of different areas you can access. This of course is all going to change with version 3 of the game. We don't know yet when that's due to be released, but hopefully it's not going to be too long now, and CIG showed all that off back at Gamescom. Very nice little planetary landing area on some type of moon with some nice surface gameplay. So using your Mobiglass, here you can find a journal which lists many of the local missions available to you. For this mission, the local ICC probe wants me to track down an unidentified signal. A little bit of voice acting here explaining to me exactly what is going on and what she wants from me. So as soon as she tells you what's needed, the mission journal updates, giving me a new location to go to. It's all fairly smooth, and it's abundantly clear that all of these missions are handcrafted. Quite curious to see just how much content can be put into the game in this manner, but by the same token, it's all very engaging indeed. I do like the use of the quantum drive, which gets you pretty much instantaneously from your current location to your destination, all with no hassle and no wasting time in between. But some may feel that it has the knock-on effect of making space feel a little bit small rather than vast and expansive. But everyone has different ideas about that, and that's totally fine. So here we are then at the destination, a nice little asteroid field. And for some reason, it seems that these asteroids seem to be significantly better than the asteroids orbiting one of the local moons. There's quite probably a reason for that, a valid reason for it, and if you do know what that is, I'd be interested to hear about it in the comments section, so do let me know if you're aware. Over there, the little red flashing dot is what's giving off the unusual signal, so I need to head on over there and retrieve it or investigate it. But en route, there we go.
Begin scan. Contact.
No mate, I'm not going to turn around. You gotta love those accents. Time for a bit of combat then. Not my best suit by any means, but nonetheless it's something that I really do enjoy in any space game. I hope though that you can excuse any mess-ups I make here, because I'm certainly not all that good at it. There does seem to be a bit of a bug there with the inbound missile icons. You can see them flashing right now, and they'll still be flashing many minutes from now. And there's one of the pirates scratching his ship up there pretty badly. He obviously doesn't want me to shoot him back, but well, that's just unfortunate for him. So I do have some chaff and also have some flares as well, and those of course act as good defensive capabilities. So one down but another to go. One thing I really do like in combat is the sound of combat. The audio here is pretty nice. Fortunately for me, these pirates are not too on the ball and not that good in combat it seems, because, well, although you can see some damage to my ship up there on the top left, it's nowhere near as severe as it actually should be, based on the amount of damage I'm actually dealing to them. And it's for this reason that I haven't bothered with any shield power distribution or anything like that at the moment. It doesn't seem too necessary for this particular fight. Unfortunately, I make the mistake here of accelerating a bit too much and overshooting my target by quite a large margin. Fortunately though for me, it's not a mistake that was going to have any significant consequences, because as you can see, it is just about to pop. So both targets down then freed me up to go and investigate that unusual signal. One of the things I really do like about many of the missions here is they often require you to get outside of your ship. So yeah, you need to go full EVA. And in this particular case, it's a little bit better having a smaller ship because you can get right up close to the probe that I need to investigate.
Danger. System overheating.
And aside from the warning messages there and the constant bleeping, space is a bit silent. Or so they say. Now, I did have a bit of a problem here trying to find out the part of this beacon that I needed to actually interact with. Sometimes that particular element of the game can be a little bit too sensitive, and you need to look in precisely at the right location. And after a little bit of messing around here, I do manage to track that down somewhere. And I very nearly did target the correct location there, but had to make another pass of it before I find it. I think the game's CIG have made some very nice use of the lighting effects here, and there you can see.
Know that my journey has ended. It was finding my way here that made the path worth taking. glad that I could be part of your story too. Share it well. Safe travels.
So, one mission down. They'll have a nice sense of ambience to them, a nice sense of completing something worthwhile. Like I said earlier, I'm a little bit cautious just about how much content can be added into the game in this manner, because once you've done missions like this once, or once you've done them a few times, you may not want to keep doing them. And after all, Star Citizen is an open world, it is a persistent world, and those two things usually mean that a lot of content is needed. But that said, due to the fact that the vast majority of areas within the game are full-on PvP, that players can attack you as and when they want, that can add a form of dynamicism to these missions, because sometimes you come out here and another player will jump in and blow you out of the sky, or at least attempt to do so. And of course you're fully capable to come out here with other players in a cooperative fashion. So back here at the probe area again, handing in the mission effectively. And yeah, that don't sound too good. She's given me another mission, this time to go out and investigate a distress beacon. From what I understand, there are a total of 8 missions from this location alone. One of the nice things though is due to the nature of the ships, due to the nature of the flight mechanics, many of these missions are eminently replayable, and I found myself going through them again and again. Depending on how CIG handled all this, I suspect that this sense of replayability could quite possibly carry its way through to the other alphas and maybe even to the final game. So even in its current form, I'm finding Star Citizen to be shaping up rather nicely. And of course there's a whole lot of regular information on the game, of which I'll be able to bring you in future videos. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.